Welcome to EV Charging, to accelerating commercial property and business revenue using smart EV charging strategies with Juicy Power. My name is Kwame Ofori, and I'll be your guide through this session. As you can see, Juicy Power, you can see our website as below on this title slide. And also you can see that this meeting is being recorded and transcribed. So let me give you an introduction about who we are. Juicy Power is a Georgia-based EV charging consulting, installation, and management company. We are centralized in Atlanta, Georgia, and our focus is local premium EV charging in and near Georgia. Over 20 years of what we have is experience with advanced transportation engineering and strategy, and that's me personally, and our team has over 50 years of electrical contracting experience. If you want to put it into one term, into one vision statement, our vision is to place the most accessible and reliable profit-generating business EV charging solutions within and near thousands of Southeast U.S. communities. So our focus is the Southeast U.S. And that's yours truly over there in that picture on the right. We'll continue on. Let's go into our today's electrifying topics. First, we'll talk about fundamentals business leaders must know to plan and implement strategically smart EV charging amenities. That's topic number one, just the fundamentals. We'll go into a list about the top 5 things that you need to know as a business leader before even getting started, and how to use a GSO framework. That's goals, situation, and options in order to plan smartly as a business leader. But as we know, EV charging can be very challenging just to start up and to learn about for many businesses. That leads us into why that might be the case. So we have a YouTube video that's helpful for this. So we'll listen to this for a second and we'll get into some of the topics afterwards.
Electric vehicle charging stations. Do they have to suck?
I mean, they're usually located in some obscure, out-of-the-way spot that's difficult to find, or they're floating out in the middle of some open parking lot at the mall like this one. Once you eventually get here, it's all very underwhelming. Places like this lack any distinguishing characteristics. It's just some, futuristic-looking kiosk sprouting from the ground next to a parking space. To top it all off, with public chargers, you're taking a gamble on whether or not the charger will work in the first place.
For now, visiting a gas station is just more predictable experience. While your average gas station is not exactly a destination or pinnacle of design excellence, the form of the gas station and what goes with it has developed for decades. While they're not all great, there have been a few pretty good ones over the years.
Either way, it seems that electric vehicles are the future, and charging our cars in spaces like this will be more and more a part of our everyday lives.
There are now more than 3 million EVs on the road and over 130,000 public chargers across the United States, and it's increasing at a rate of 60% per year.
So the question remains, do these spots have to suck? I don't think so. And in fact, the successful conversion of automobiles to electricity will to some degree depend on getting this part of the ownership experience right.
Not only do charging stations need to be safe, practical, and efficient, they need to be at places that us humans want.
Well, they need to be places where us humans actually want to be for an extended period of time. And if you're a business, that can be beneficial for you as a customer or as a purveyor to your customers. So, but where do we get started? And that's part of the challenge. What's wrong with public EV charging today? And why do some properties get it wrong while others get it right? Why do some have unused chargers that seem to be a money pit? And why do some have chargers that seem to attract people? We'll get into that, but a lot of that also is dependent on not just location, but the type of chargers that you put in. And there's 3 types. So in the next slide, we'll get into that. So here's a little overview about the 3 main types of chargers that you have. and that could be applicable to your property or your business.
First off, there are three types of technologies used in EV charging stations: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 2 and 3 are probably the ones that we're talking about here. Level 1 is a charging using a 120 volt standard outlet, and it might take a day to charge an electric vehicle. Level 2 uses a 240 volt outlet and can charge an electric vehicle in about 4 to 8 hours. Level 3, though, is known as DC fast charging. It uses high voltage DC connection and can charge a car in 30 minutes or less. So level 3s are the kind of places that you might stop on a long road trip or while you're out to keep things juiced up a little bit. And they require a larger footprint and more complex infrastructure due to those higher power requirements.
So hopefully we've got all a good overview of like what level 1, level 2, and level 3 is. Now, just in case you didn't,
First off, there are three types of technology.
In order to like go over the main fundamentals about each type that could be available for you and your business. Well, level 1 charging is typically that household outlet, that GFCI that you might have in your garage. It's 120 volts, and it's kind of slow. It takes an average charging time of more than 12 hours for the typical EV to actually get a decent charge out of it. It's the lowest cost option, but also the least attractive to patrons, visitors, residents, etc., because people usually want chargers fast. However, for a large footprint, this might be a halfway solution that you can work with. Level 2 charging, they also talked about in the prior video. Level 2 charging is 240 volts. That's typically the type of circuit that your clothes dryer or your oven might run on. It's common to most mid-sized commercial plazas and small buildings, even your typical home. The average time is much faster. You get a lot more power into each vehicle, and that's attracted to EV drivers and EV customers. So in 4 hours, you have a dwell time for your customers. And the average cost in terms of equipment can be anywhere between $500 to $10K. 4.4 to 19.2 kilowatts in terms of the power that is outputted from each of these charging stations. So that's a lot more than level 1, and it gives a satisfactory charge to people that might be visiting a library, might be visiting a workplace, in order to get them to top off and enough to get to their next stop or enough to get home. And then you've got level 3, the granddaddy of them all, DC fast charging, 480 volts. Common to large malls, say Atlantic Station, large shopping centers, and manufacturing facilities. Your average charging time for your users is going to be between 5 and 45 minutes. So it's that short, quick stop that people really use to get a lot of miles in a little bit of time. Now, that type of power isn't cheap. Your average charger, your equipment, will cost about 40 to 90K, but it will deliver anywhere between 150 to 350 kilowatts. And that's great. That's very convenient. But the big thing that you have to think about is that your location and your use case matters. Why are people visiting your business? Why are they actually coming by, and how long are they staying? And your location. Is it by a highway? Is it by a freeway? Is it in the woods location? So frequency of visitors, the nature of their visit, all matters in deciding the right type of charger to use for your application or your business. So that leads to, what are the top 5 questions businesses like yours need to ask before starting? Now, at this time, I'm going to put up a poll for everyone to respond to, and that will be on the right side of your screen. And that poll asks, why would you most want EV charging at your business location? Everybody's got different reasons. Some people want to provide a free amenity to their visitors and clients to attract more. Some people want to create a profit stream. Some people would like to attract and retain tenants, whether those are business tenants, residential tenants, or employee talent, as EV charging, or excuse me, EV adoption and hybrid vehicle adoption, we've got plug-in hybrid vehicles, is rising at a geometric rate. So if you'd like to give some feedback and also put in your poll, it would help us actually target the discussion a little bit better. Why would you want EV charging at your location? That's on the right side of the screen. Go ahead and vote in that. So while you're filling that out, what are the top 5 reasons? Or top 5 questions, I should say. Why do you want EV charging at your business location? What is the reason? As a business leader, what are use cases I think I want to support? As a decision maker, or as a financial officer, are you seeking to produce revenue? How much and how? Because there's a few different ways of doing that. And also, how much electrical supply will you need? Is your back end strong enough for it yet? Do you have the necessary distribution? And how will you pay for the charging infrastructure? Strategies regarding that, sometimes it all comes down to dollars and cents. You need to have some concepts in order to think about how and what resources you can use in order to finance and pay for that charging infrastructure upgrade. So let's go into why. We already did the user poll. We got to that a little bit early. What are your common reasons? Common reasons include providing a free amenity to customers. Often for a level 2 charger, it can be like as much as providing free coffee to customers in return that they actually come to your location and patronize your business or businesses. We'd like to create a profit stream. We'd like to create another source of income separate from ordinary sales or rental income that impacts our bottom line. Also, we'd like to retain and attract employee talent. It's a good chance that more and more of your customers or your employees are going to be driving a plug-in electric hybrid or an electric vehicle, full electric vehicle, in the near future. There's plenty of incentives out there that incentivize people to buy, and costs are coming down and prices of vehicles are coming down as well too. So as a business owner, it's only smart in order to look into that competitive advantage that you can have over your peers in order to enhance your bottom line. Different reasons require different strategies and different analyses. A few statistics that you might find interesting. Why? Well, better customers. Your average EV driver is likely to spend twice as much as your regular gas driving customer. 43%. Did you know that 43% of EV drivers are likely to return to a retail location with EV chargers weekly, on a weekly basis? So that's repeat customers. And 79% of customers seek out green amenities while charging. So that's something that you can look into in order to enhance your sustainability efforts to not only internal customers, but your external customers as well. They'll seek you out, and that's a big thing. And anything to provide a competitive advantage in this economic environment is very valuable. Also, it increases your scope, it increases your reach. If you have customers within your geographic footprint, they are likely to drive twice the amount of distance to your location to visit you. So imagine that your geographic footprint increases by 100%. for people that you're about to reach. It's not hard math to see how that works out. It's an advantage. So understanding your goals, part of goals, that GSO framework we talked about. What are the top EV charging use cases do you think you want to support? Are you a shopping or a retail location? Are people visiting to purchase something and leave? Are they sitting down to eat for a while? Are they sitting down to study for a while? How long are they going to be there? Interstate travelers, is that a reasonable use case for you? Are you within, say, half a mile of a freeway, and of a major exit, I should say? Will people be driving by, stopping to go to the bathroom, stopping to buy, say, a souvenir or gas, or excuse me, dirty word, or an item from your location and taking off within 15 to 20 minutes? Are they going to be sticking around for like 20 or 30 minutes? Will they have something to do while they're there? Will they want to come back or remember that your particular start? So interstate travelers is a use case that is typical for a lot of customers. Event parking. Say you've got a parking lot near a stadium. It serves as an office park, but also serves as an event parking location. So are people at your event, those events, going to stay 3 or 4 hours? What's a reasonable situation or a reasonable equipment choice in order to use for that? So some people might say level 2 when it comes down to that, but there's cases where level 3 might be appropriate as well too. Understanding your goals, revenue. If you're seeking to produce revenue, how much? Indirect profit and direct profit are both great options. When it comes down to indirect profit, you're talking about sales of your existing business. You have existing business that either you coffee shop, for instance. Would you like to sell more coffee based upon getting more customers, based upon the expanded reach that we talked about beforehand and the expanded attraction of an EV charger? Increased visitorship, increased retention, increased sales of existing process, all parts of the indirect profit that can result from installing an EV charger at your business. And there's also direct profit. And the thing about direct profit is charging, that's electricity. Electricity does cost money, but you're also providing convenience to people as well too. And how much convenience you are providing them will kind of be able to guide whether direct profit is an option for you. So level 3, there is a premium on getting that much power that fast. So oftentimes there is a direct profit aspect to a level 3 charger. To a level 2 charger, are you providing a certain amount of convenience or a certain amount of, need for your customers, where direct profit can be an option as well too. So one of the things that you can do is look at an estimator and seek out guidance from an expert in order to see if direct profit can be opted for your business as a business leader. Understanding your situation, your infrastructure. What's your back hall look like? Do you have adequate power supply for the charging you want? Are you in Atlantic Station? Are you in a mall situation, a major building where 480 volts is an option? Or will be some type of a backhaul upgrade? There's options for that. Do you have the available electrical capacity? Are you going to need panel upgrades in order to support additional EV charging? So for instance, we all have panels in our homes, we all have panels at our business. If our panels exactly full up, we might have to, add another panel in order to make EV charging possible at your location. Now, if you got a bunch of free slots, that's great. That makes it easier. So that's one of the things that you also have to think about as well too, or at least be aware of when you're talking to an expert. How will you pay for the charging infrastructure? Do you plan to use them, or are you aware of incentives that your utility might provide in order to help you finance or at least get over that initial charge cost of installing and buying EV charging infrastructure? Are you aware of federal credits? Are you aware of state credits, tax rebates, things like that? And then once those chargers are in the ground, what is your sustainable business plan? That means, hey, you'll have to maintain the chargers. There's network costs. There's things that you'll need to do in order to like ensure that those chargers remain operational and trustable to your customers. Because if they're not trustable, they're not going to be an attraction to your customer. They're going to say in their mind, hey, this charger is always broken or it's never online. I can't really trust it. So why am I even coming? So having a trustable resource for your customers, your tenants, or your employees is important. So how do you maintain that? Do you have a sustainable business plan? Does it make sense? And sense in two ways: sense as S-E-N-S-E and sense as C-E-N-T-S. So pretty much is what it's bringing in providing enough benefit to what it's putting out? And that's something that also Juicy Power helps with as well too. So you understand your options, GSO, and adjust. Number one, weigh your options. So you've understood this presentation, you've understood this webinar. You should weigh your options. Think about it, do your own research. Number two, contact an expert. We have experts here at Juicy Power that can help you from essentially to the cradle to the end game of your EV charging experience. Use a Juicy Power online revenue estimator. So Juicy Power has online revenue estimators that you can use in order to get a rough idea of like what you might be able to make using electric vehicle charging. And number four, use a roadmap. Apps can help guide you through some of the process it takes just to put in a charger in the ground, so you're not blind to it going in. So all these educational tools, which Juicy Power helps provide, can help you prepare and make a sound decision upon your charging strategy, or if charging is even right for you. So we talked about contacting an expert. How can you contact an expert? Well, we've all got cell phones. You take your cell phone, you scan that QR code, or you can go to www.juicy-power.com. And let's face it, you'll be able to like access our website and tools that way. If you go to the website, you'll be able to see, and we'll see right here, here's our website here. You'll be able to see that there's a business EV charger revenue estimator that you're able to access. And if you click on that tab, you'll be able to go to our EV charging revenue estimator tool, where you'll be able to answer a series of questions and automatically and instantly get a quote. Well, not a quote. Let me take that back. You'll be able to get an estimate on how much your business might be able to make. Now, it's a rough estimate, so you'll want to double back with us and also check into it in order to see like, hey, what's the sound strategy in order to make this happen? All right. So we talked about the revenue estimator just now. Use a Juicy Power revenue estimator. It's a great feature. It'll allow a business leader like you to instantly calculate possible EV charging for your organization. And it will connect you to a detailed EV charger planning solution. Talk about a roadmap. If you can access a roadmap, find one. There's some online, but we've also got some with Juicy Power too. It'll help you understand the process and plan. What's involved with the preparation? What's involved with design, installation, management, and maintenance? Permitting also being a thing too. Commissioning as well. So we'll take you through step by steps. We have a 10-step plan that essentially we take our clients through and to help them understand, as well as plan out how long it's going to take. What's the reasonable expectation regarding that? So it helps you plan as a business, prepare as a business, and helps us prepare you as a business in order to undertake this journey in a smart and the least stressful way. So what can you do now? Use a Juicy Power Revenue Estimator. Use a Juicy Power Revenue Estimator. Use a Juicy Power Revenue Estimator. Use an EV charging roadmap. And contact us. We're here. Info@juicypower.com is our email. If you go to the QR code, you can also access our social media and also sign up for our newsletter as well too. Well, we've got webinars also coming up as well too. You can learn more. Our next webinar is scheduled for June 28th. It'll target multifamily properties. So we'll be doing smart EV charging amenity strategies for multifamily properties on June 28th. Accelerating sustainable accessibility, targeting towards institutions as well as governments as well too. So if you're a school, institution, church, etc., what can you do in order to utilize your property in order to be able to access this burgeoning trend, this growth rate of EV charging, this electric vehicle transition for plug-in hybrids as well as full electric vehicles? And of course, how to access incentives for businesses and organizations. That's August 2nd. And finally, preparation, process, and planning for providing an EV charging amenity. And that's August 23rd. So you'll go to the QR code, go to our website, www.juicypower.com, juicy-power.com, or just scan the QR code and it will take you to our links where you'll be able to access all of those things.